Hey, I wanted to share a very good essay by Paul Craig Roberts today. Now, I don't always agree with the guy because, number one, he is still too much of a Reaganite, too much entrenched philosophically in Reagan's economic policies. But he does speak the truth when it comes to this particular issue. And he said many things before because he's been on the inside and he knows what kinds of lies go on in Washington. And so he has basically become the persona non grata, both in the Republican Party, on Wall Street, and also for the Democrats as well, of course. Here it goes. The true cost of war. Obama's End the War in Iraq speech must have shattered any remaining belief in him. Forced to appease both his supporters and the warmonger right wing, who denounce him as a Muslim and a Marxist, Obama resorted to Orwellian doublespeak. He could only announce an end to the war by praising the president who started it and the troops who fought it. Yet, as most earthlings, if not Americans, surely know by now, the war was based on a lie and on an intentional deception. The American troops died for a lie. President Obama spoke of the cost to Americans of liberating Iraq. But is Iraq liberated, or is Iraq in the hands of American political puppets, still occupied by 50,000 troops and 200,000 private contractors, governed out of the largest embassy in the world, essentially a fortress? Obama did not speak of the cost to the Iraqis of being liberated. The unaccounted Iraqi deaths, estimates which range from 100,000 to 1 million, most being women and children, were not even mentioned. Neither were the uncounted orphaned and maimed children, the 4 million displaced Iraqis, the flight from Iraq of the professional middle class, the homes, the infrastructure, the villages and towns destroyed, along with whatever remained of America's reputation. All of this was left out of the picture that Obama painted of America's commitment to Iraq, which brought Iraqis peace and liberated Iraqis from Saddam Hussein, in order that a destroyed Iraq can now become an American puppet state and takes its orders from Washington. As it is impossible for U.S. government to any longer pretend that the invasion of Iraq was necessary to save America from weapons of mass destruction and Al-Qaeda terrorists, the U.S. government's justification for its massive war crime has come down to removing Saddam Hussein, who, like the Americans, tortured his opponents. Does anyone on earth, even amongst the most moronic of the flag-waving American super patriots, believe that the bankrupt United States government spent $3 trillion borrowed dollars to remove Saddam Hussein in order to free Iraq from tyranny? Anyone who believes this is insane. Saddam Hussein would have resigned for far less money had it been afforded to him. Do Americans see the irony in the saving Iraq from tyranny excuse? The greatest price of the neoconservative war against Iraq is not the 3 trillion or the dead and maimed American soldiers or broken families. The greatest price of this evil war was the destruction of the U.S. Constitution and American civil liberties. The Bush, Cheney, Obama national security state has eviscerated the Constitution and civil liberty. Nothing seems to remain. The fascist Republican Federalist Society has put enough federal judges in the judiciary to rule that the president is above the law. The president doesn't have to obey the law against spying on American citizens without warrants. The president doesn't have to obey U.S. and international law against torture. The president doesn't have to obey the Constitution that mandates that only Congress can declare war. The president can do whatever he wants as long as he justifies it as national security. The president's part of the government, the unaccountable executive branch, is supreme. The president can announce, without being impeached, his decision to murder Americans abroad and at home if someone somewhere is in the unaccountable executive branch regards such American citizens as a threat. Murder first, no accountability later. The executive branch has exercised unilateral, unaccountable power to deep six the United States Constitution with little interference from the judiciary and with full support of most of Congress. The executive branch has declared foreign opponents of America's illegal invasion and occupations of their countries to be terrorists, subject neither to the laws of war nor to the criminal laws of the United States, and therefore subject to indefinite torture and detention without charges or evidence whatsoever. This is the legacy of the Bush-Cheney regime. And this regime, unfortunately, continues under Obama. America's war on terror is a fabrication and has resurrected the unaccountable dungeon of the Middle Ages and the raw tyranny that prevailed prior to the Magna Carta. This is the true cost of liberating Iraq. That is, of turning Iraq into an American puppet state that sells out its people for American interests. Who will now liberate Americans from the Bush, Cheney, and now the continuing debacle under Obama? Obama asserts that America's war crimes have come to an end in Iraq, but Obama asserts the power to export America's war crimes to Afghanistan in order to rein in what the CIA director says are 50 or less Al-Qaeda operatives remaining in Afghanistan. Bankrupt Americans will now be saddled with another $3 billion of debt in order to chase after 50 or less alleged terrorists. To cover up this extraordinary waste of borrowed money, Obama, following the dishonest practices of prior American regimes, equated Al-Qaeda with the Taliban, a homegrown movement of hundreds of thousands of Afghans seeking to basically unify the country. The Taliban is not Al-Qaeda. The The least expensive way to combat terrorists would be to stop trying to create them in the first place. By continuous interference of the American empire in the Middle East and in Central Asia, and to stop imposing American puppet states on indigenous populations. This, of course, not only goes on in the Middle East, it also goes on down south of us. And the bought and paid for European puppet states, who preen themselves with their superior morality, fall in line with Washington, obeying their American masters who fill their pockets with dollars. The West, having fought tyranny since the Magna Carta, now imposes tyranny both on itself and on the rest of the world. Something to think about.